Hi, my name is Pete Anderson, and I'm the owner of Plain Guys Aviation and also the manager of the Waupaca Municipal Airport. Really proud to be here today to let you know that until January 28th of 2012, that downstairs in the library at the exhibit hall, we'll be having an exhibit of the Waupaca Airport, some of the things that we do out there, and some interesting things for the kids to look at. One of the exhibits that we have here on display is actually an airplane that I built back in 2000. It was a Genesis Slipstream. It was a kit plane put together actually in my basement and out in my garage and eventually to an airport. What we have here is the main wing to it, showing the structure of it with the ribbing and the leading edges. People come up and see how the airplane was designed and built. We also have a tail section and a horizontal stabilizer back here. You may notice that there's some papers on each one of the parts. And it'll say, I support airplanes, what am I? And as the children look at that, they'll say, well, I'm a wing. And the shape of the wing is designed that the air goes faster over the top than on the bottom, therefore creating lift. On January 14th, 2011, we're going to be proud to show you a movie called Pearl. Pearl is one of the world's youngest aviators that became a licensed pilot. I believe it was at the age of 12. I happen to have an opportunity to meet the cast of Pearl when they're making the movie, and I also got to know Angela down here who plays the mother. So I kind of have a personal tie-in with me that became friends of the family. But Pearl is a fantastic family movie, and we sure wish you could stop by to see it. It's going to be a very enjoyable thing for the whole family. As you go through our exhibit, you're going to notice many, many paintings on the wall from Sam Lyons. Sam Lyons became a personal friend of my wife and I would say probably a good 10 to 15 years ago. He's a self-taught artist and was a pilot in Vietnam flying the fighters. As you go through the room, you'll be amazed at the quality and the paintings that he can do. The reflections in every one just tell a story in its own right. As a matter of fact, you'll see almost in every painting, I think you'll probably find Sam's truck hidden somewhere inside these paintings. The pictures that you see along the wall were pictures taken throughout the last few years out at the airport. We have a collection in here showing you the support of the airport to our community. May it be for business, or may it be for health care. Shows of people that come in to visit us. It keeps on explaining how we went through and how our airport grew throughout the years. We have down on the end showing you the young Eagles from Chapter 444 out of Northport. They come into our airport a couple times a year and take children out for their very first ride. In addition to community involvement with the airport, we just love to host and have people out there to come to visit us. You can see that we've brought in many school groups, 4-H'ers, the Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts, and come out to the airport, go on a tour, get to sit in the airplanes and see what we're all about out there. We also have, as many of you know, it's every year we have our Father's Day Fly and Pancake Breakfast. We also have now got the Cherokees of Oshkosh. That's a group that comes from all over the United States and some from England that have been coming through Waupaca for the last 4 years, calling Waupaca home during the EAA.
They got all that they could, all that they were allowed to get.
Another exhibit that we have here is what I refer to as my junk art. It's something that happens when a guy sits out in a garage with a little bit of time on his hands looking around, and to some people it might be nuts and bolts and screws and so forth, but I've made it a little hobby of mine to create things, sculptures, if you will, for aviation. A little fella here standing in chain, he's actually flying a remote control airplane, And we've got ourselves a biplane, and we've got a ski plane, and even a little child on this side throwing a little hand glider. It's kind of a fun thing to come to see. On our end display, we've got a display of the World War II uniforms. We have the WASP uniform over here on the left-hand side. The WASP are somebody that's finally been recognized for the great job they did during World War II, transferring our aircraft to our soldiers. We also have a little history of women in flying in this part of the cabinet. Over on this side, we have the Air Force Air Corps. This was before the Air Force was actually developed. This uniform was actually worn by Thomas Somerville, I believe that's how you say it, from New London. He was a fortress flyer during World War II. There's also a couple pictures that I have down here when I met General Chuck Yeager, who was the first man to break the sound record, and also with Bud Anderson. And every time I see Bud, I kid him because he's an S-O-N and I'm an E-N. So I keep on telling him ISMA I can't spell. The EAA was kind enough to let us come over and borrow a few things from them. In the addition of the stuff that you have seen in the cabinet before for World War II, they also let us bring home one of these simulators from the EAA museum. The simulator will be here throughout the showtime, and the kids are invited to come over and try their hand at flying an aircraft. Throughout our display, we have a few fun things for the family and the children. This happens to be the Waupaca on top wall. As you go around here, you'll notice all the pictures that are up on this wall. And we ask you to try to guess where in the Waupaca area that picture was taken from up in the air. The answers are up on top on this board here for the people that are in question of where they might be. But I think you'll find that it's going to be fun, getting a view from what pilots get a view from every time we fly over. So again, we invite you to stop over here at the library, downstairs in the exhibit center.